Namaskar to everyone, and nice to see you again this week. We had a bit of a pause last week. There was another live stream. I hope some of you enjoyed it. Live stream with Sadhguru Siriak for the 3-hour meditation. So this week we will continue with the Q&A. My name is Dejan, and I'm spiritual practice with SSRF for the last 24 years. And I've been doing spiritual practice first 15 years together with my regular family duties, job, career. But 8 years ago, I decided to focus completely on my spiritual practice. And since then, I have been doing full-time spiritual practice. I lived in India in an ashram, in a spiritual center for years. And currently I'm in Germany. And this year also traveled to different countries around the world, in Latin America and Europe. A little bit about SSRF. It is a non-profit organization established in 2006 under the blessings of His Holiness Dr. Jayant Atavle, who is a saint of a highest order. And the organization was established with two goals. One is to guide seekers, people curious about spiritual growth, spiritual practice, on their spiritual journey, all the way to self-realization, God-realisation. And the other goal is to educate society about the spiritual dimension and how it impacts our lives. We are an all-volunteer organization. That means all the seekers, we call seekers, like spiritual seekers, those who seek to grow and to learn, are doing volunteer work as their service to spread spirituality. It is part of our spiritual practice. So on our website we have many articles. In English, around 800 articles, and it's translated in 23 languages, so more than 8,000 articles, all for free. We have these live streams, we have weekly meetings, we have a YouTube channel, which has until now 15 million views. Some of you are on YouTube right now. And we are also in cooperation with the Maharshi University of Spirituality from India, which is a unique university which does research into the spiritual dimension. And the university has presented this research at over 100 conferences, scientific conferences around the world. And as the name of SSRF says, Spiritual Science Research Foundation, we are involved in the research and we publish that information on the website and in the books. So later, feel free, if it's your first time coming, to go to the SSRF website and to see all the articles on many different topics. Spiritual healing, spiritual practice, spiritual obstacles, different things. So this Q&A session, you can start sharing your questions on any topic in spirituality, and we will do our best to answer you. And before starting, we usually start with 2 minutes of chanting. We will chant a universal chant. It means to repeat a divine name in our mind that helps us to obtain positive energy, divine consciousness, divine protection, and healing also. So we will do 2 minutes of chanting. You can listen to it, you can repeat it in your mind. And later you can also share in the chat how you felt. So, and if any thoughts are in the mind, any questions, you can later share. So we will do 2 minutes of chanting.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते 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 वासुदेवाय.
Okay. How is everyone feeling? So you can slowly open the eyes and can start asking your questions in the chat. And I will look on both YouTube and Facebook to see what is there. For those who are new, it can be any question. It can be about any obstacles or any thoughts you had in mind or something you heard you're not clear about, or where you need help in your spiritual practice. Okay, so far no questions. So then maybe I will share something and something will come to the mind in the meantime. One of the questions that we often get in different sessions that we have, different lectures, we get all kinds of questions. But something common is how to reduce many thoughts, or how to reduce negative thoughts. I don't know if this happens to some of you, to have a lot of thoughts in the mind, or some negative thoughts about self or about others. So this is something quite common. And here what helps is to understand the nature of the mind. So all the thoughts, they come from the subconscious mind. And we have different impressions that we have collected over many years, and many lives also. And those impressions and impulses to the conscious mind. So if we try to remain calm or meditate, some of you may have tried to meditate, and many thoughts come in the mind. And we're not able to concentrate. So sometimes people say you should concentrate. But one thing we should remember is that concentration is not a tool. Concentration is the goal. So how do we reach that goal? How do we get to concentration? What is really concentration? Concentration means just focusing the mind, yeah, on one thing. So what can help us with that is the practice of chanting. Basically, we focus on the one name, divine name that we are chanting, and that helps to increase concentration, and it helps to reduce the wandering of the mind, because the mind goes all over the place, yeah? So if we keep bringing it back to the chant, then we experience a state of concentration, and later on at some point, a state of meditation. Or meditation means a thoughtless state, a state of no thoughts. It is a very nice state to have because it's very peaceful, and it's actually in a way our natural state. And another thing that causes many thoughts, and especially negative thoughts, is the impact of negative energy. It can be negative energy in the environment or negative energy affecting us. In today's times, as some of you may have experienced, the environment is not very helpful, let's say, to spirituality and spiritual growth, because there is a lot of spiritual pollution. So for that, we can do different kinds of healing remedies to reduce the black covering on our mind and intellect. And also we can pray, and we can do different healing remedies like nyas, which is to concentrate the fingers in front of this chakra while chanting. Because usually when this chakra is affected, we get more thoughts or lack of clarity. So these are just some suggestions what we can do. Hope it helped. We have a first question from Deepali. So Deepali, you shared, I had a question on how can it still help you grow spiritually if you miss Brahma Muhurta? Brahma Muhurta is the most positive part of the day. It starts around 4 in the morning and lasts a little bit after sunrise, around 7 a.m. or something like that. And as much as I've been trying, I've not been very successful in waking up early. So Deepali, it is a nice desire that you have to wake up that early, which is not easy, and depends also when we go to sleep, yeah? To have enough rest. But you want to make that effort. But it is not a must to grow spiritually. We can chant at any time, any part of the day. And yes, it will help us if we chant in the morning, but more than the time of the day, what helps us is our desire to chant and our focus on the chant and our spiritual emotion that we have for the chant. So some seekers are not able to sleep at night. After midnight, they are restless, have insomnia until 1 in the morning or so. Then they are chanting at that time, even though it's not a positive time of the day, but they still chant. And their chant keeps them in divine energy, in positivity. So it is because of the desire and focus, because God is present, divinity is present, everywhere, at all time. It's beyond time and space, yeah? So it depends on our connection. So don't worry about it. If you can wake up early, wake up early. If you cannot wake up early, whenever you wake up, you start chanting. Just keep a plan. How much chanting I will complete and when I will complete it. So with chanting, it is important, if we want to grow, is to increase the quantity and to increase the quality. Both you can try to increase. If this week it's 1 hour, next week you can do 1.5 hours, like that. And then during the day, to remind yourself to chant whenever you are able to do that. That is the beauty of chanting. It is beyond restrictions and beyond regulations. So please share if this helped you. So another question is from Karmanya Kumar. Namaskar, Karmanya. Welcome to the live stream. You asked, what is spirituality and how should we adopt it? It is very nice to ask this question. It shows your curiosity and desire. So spirituality is a science that helps us to grow spiritually, to experience our true divine nature, and which also brings positivity and benevolence and wellness to the whole of society. And how to adopt it is by practicing it. It is a practical science. There's a lot of theory in spirituality, many books, many holy scriptures, many videos now, live streams like this one. But main thing is to practice. Just listening or reading will not get us very far. It is more important to practice. So to adopt it, we can practice step by step, as per our capacity. So one thing that we recommend is to do chanting, which we talked about and which we tried today. And another thing that can be done is to do prayers or express gratitude. Another thing is to work on ourselves, to reduce our personality defects, which are causing unhappiness to us and to others, and to develop qualities which cause happiness or fulfillment to us and to others. This is like a starting point. And then later also we can participate in service to help spread spirituality in society. That is also a way to adopt spirituality. The first part is about ourselves, and the second part, spreading spirituality, is about ourselves and about others. So please share if you have any more questions about it. Satish, Namaskar Satish, you asked, once in a while I get angry and I'm unable to agree that I was wrong in getting angry. Is getting angry always incorrect? So it is good you're able to express this, and it is an important point. I don't know if others also get angry sometimes, and how it impacts us and others around us. Do we feel good when we are angry? We feel calm, or do we feel restless or some emotions, strong emotions inside that disturb our state of mind? The answer is the later one, yeah? That we get disturbed. So definitely we should work on reducing anger, because it has harmful effects on us and on others around us. So if in some situation there is something, some injustice, or something is not done right, we can act on it. But we don't need to get angry about it. So anger is there because of our personality defect of anger. And not admitting it makes it a bigger problem. One thing is to get angry, but then not to admit it and not to accept it, it's a bigger problem. So what will help to accept and admit that we were wrong in it is to think of the impact, mainly impact on others, and also to understand what could have been a better way or a different way to react in that situation. So for example, let's say our children are not listening to us. So we told them to study and then they went to play. So they're not behaving properly, they should go back to study. But if I get angry, if I yell, then it will create some impact on them. Instead, we can say calmly and firmly that please go back and study. So then there is that negative side effect is not there. So if we think about that, how it would impact them or how it would impact us, we can put ourselves in another person's shoes. If someone told to me like that, how would I feel? Would I want to be told in anger? Answer will usually be no. So if we don't want it for ourselves, then why should we do it that way to others? For ourselves, we want others to tell us in a nice way, calm way, with appreciation, with understanding, yeah? So we should do the same to others. So I hope this will help you, Satish, in accepting and overcoming anger. Deepali, you shared you're grateful for the assurance and the guidance. I'm grateful to God that it helped you. Okay, so we can go to the next question. Next question is from Elena. Namaskar, Elena. Nice to see you again this week. So, how to accept past situations and learn from them, especially the difficult ones. This is a very important point because many of us, we get stuck, yeah, in the past situations. We remain in the past. Either we don't deal with it, or they say they put it under the carpet, or we keep resentment, or we don't learn from it. We repeat the same mistakes again and again. So after the situation has resolved, we can do an introspection. We can study, we can pray, sit down in calmness, chant a couple of minutes, and then start to study what happened in that situation, why it happened, which perspectives will help me to accept it, what I can learn from it, and we can write it down. Because just thinking in our mind does not lead to complete understanding. If we write it down, it goes deeper. And we also have a record of it for later that we can study. And a few months later, we can read it again and see if there is a change in us, if we have learned that lesson. So this is one way that we can learn from it. And to accept, we can give different perspectives, that there is destiny, that it is never black and white, it is never one side to blame, there are always two sides. Okay, maybe it's not always equal, it's not always 50-50, sometimes it's 70-30, 80-20, but what part is there? Ours. That we either brought ourselves to that situation or we participated that situation becomes worse. So that will help to accept also. And also one thing that helps us is to think that, okay, it is in the past, it does not help me. If I remain in the present, then I will be able to function in a better way. So for depending on what's the issue, we can take auto-suggestions for it, to let go of the past situations and to accept them. For example, for those who don't know about auto-suggestions, it's a phrase that we repeat in our mind that goes into the subconscious mind to kind of reprogram the subconscious mind to change the impressions. So it will be something like, whenever I start to think about the past situation where my ex-friend hurt me, I will realize it's in the past, and that from this I can learn to be more careful or more expressive or something like that. So I will remain focused on the present and remain positive. That would be one example of an autosuggestion. So Maria asked, Namaskar Maria, Refa, nice to see you again. If I hit a child, do I get that too for paying my destiny? I didn't fully understand the sentence, but I'm guessing that you are asking if hitting a child creates destiny. So the answer is yes, if we do acts like that, then they can create some demerit. Our actions create merits or demerits, or they can create spiritual progress, depending what type of action it is. Spiritual practice leads to spiritual progress, and other types of actions in the life, they create merits or demerits. Merits give us happiness, demerits give us unhappiness. So we should definitely work on this to control the anger and not to hit anyone. We can take auto-suggestions for it, and if we're taking auto-suggestions and we are not able to control it, because this is a more serious thing, like hurting someone, then we can do an auto-suggestion where we pinch ourselves when that urge comes, so that we stop that thought, we stop that urge. It reminds the mind that I should not do this. And then we can chant very fast and pray or remove ourselves from the situation. I hope it helped. Okay, so Apriya asked different things, so I'll try to summarize. While chanting, I have tension in my head and it has moved to my ears. There is a crackling, popping sound inside my ears. Is there anything I can do for this? So this can be a sign of healing, that the centers of black energy that are in the area of the head are getting dissolved. So what you can do is, if you have something in the ears, you can take the nyas, which is a mudra. Mudra is position of fingers, which brings certain spiritual benefits. You can take the nyas, or 5 fingers together, and you can keep like this outside of your ears when you're chanting, and see if that helps. And also another thing that can be done is to remove the black covering around from the ears area. You can collect and pull and throw, or you can twist like this and throw for 1 minute or 2, 6, 7 times like that. And then you hold the nyas. First you remove and then you hold the nyas, and see if that helps. But it's interesting what you said. You had tension in your head and then it's moved to the ears. So sometimes the black energy which affects us can move. It gets nullified in one part and then it moves to another part. It can move to the eyes. So it is good that you are able to perceive it, so then you know where is the problem, that you can address it. Then it will go away. Another question from Priya. I sleep with 12 boxes around my bed. I'll just explain for others. There is a box remedy, which is a very effective, efficient healing remedy. You just need regular boxes. that you can put around yourself, around the bed when sleeping. And why boxes? Because it is there is a principle of ether, absolute ether, in the hollow spaces, like a box. So that principle of ether, like vacuum, which is the strongest of all elements, does healing on us. It nullifies black energy and collects also black energy inside the box. And after that, we purify the box either with incense or we put it in the sun for a couple of hours. So Priya is using this remedy. So there are two large boxes, two medium, all directions. One is facing the floor, one out, one in. And the bed frame is too low, so underneath. So it's very nice. You're really committed to this. You've thought of everything, pointing outside, pointing inwards, pointing all directions. So it is good. You get full protection. And then you play chants, put a night light. You pray, and then still not waking up refreshed. And then you have to light an incense for less than a minute. Then after a few minutes, you feel fine to get up. And there is some arousal feeling after waking up. So you feel it's an attack. So, and it happens during the chanting. So, yes, it is a kind of an attack, or like being affected by negative energy. And what is good is you have that perseverance, the fighting spirit to keep doing all these remedies. So it's very inspiring. So keep continuing with those efforts. I think it's inspiring for everyone here listening. But it is a process. Sometimes we will feel fresh, sometimes we will not feel fresh, because there are cycles, and sometimes we get more affected, sometimes we get less affected. So what you can do also is we can check about the chant. I don't know which chant you're playing during the night, and you can ask us later in the live chat. We have a live chat on our website, and we can maybe suggest some other chant that you can try to play during the night. If you're playing the chant for ancestors, then you can switch to the universal chant and see if that works. And also before sleeping, to do 15 minutes of chanting in bed, to light an incense before sleeping, and to purify the room, first going anti-clockwise and then clockwise around the room. Anti-clockwise dissolves negativity, clockwise imbibes positivity. So these are some things that you can try, and not to go on a mobile or read things or watch YouTube or watch movies, films before sleep. Because what happens is that will bring black energy covering around us, around our body, that will stay during the whole night. And the negative energies can use during the night. So that black energy actually makes us feel drained, even after sleeping a long time, or sleeping sufficiently, adequately. And just make sure to cleanse the boxes, huh? They should be cleansed every day. Okay, so we can go to, you said you're playing the universal chant. Then we have some other chants that we can try to give you. Maybe some unmanifest chants or the ancestor chant, we can see which may help. Okay, next question is from Jazeng. Namaskar, Jazeng. Nice to see you again. Could you elaborate on the importance of PDR and our attitude towards PDR? Sometimes I intellectually understand the mistake and autosuggestion repeats in my mind, but the mistake will not reduce. So PDR, for those who hear it for the first time, it's short for the process of personality defect removal. It is a specific methodology that is very effective, that works on reducing different defects in our subconscious mind, like worry, fear, anger, insecurity, impatience, different things like that. So the importance of PDR is that if we want to change, if we want to get better, there is no other way than to work on ourselves. It will not happen on its own, it will not happen automatically. Actually, if we don't work on it, then our defects can increase also. Because we keep repeating the action, and the more we repeat, the more the impression grows. So that is the importance of PDR, because it works to reduce and eventually remove those defects. And it's also important to work at subconscious mind level. And PDR works at that level. If we work on conscious mind level, we cannot overcome those defects. They will keep coming again and again. We can temporarily reduce them, but they keep coming again. It is like if we have weeds, if we cut the top of the weed, it will just keep growing again, yeah? It will not go away completely. We have to take the weed from the root. So PDR works at that level, through autosuggestions. And PDR also increases our awareness. So awareness is half the battle. Because the more we are aware of ourselves, how we are thinking, how we are behaving, what we are feeling, what is correct, what is incorrect, then we can change. If we don't have awareness, we cannot change. So I'll give you one example. In my case, I was working on different things for a few years through the process of PDR. And then I spoke to one seeker who was guiding me. I was in India at that time at the ashram, came to visit. And she told different things that I can work on. And I knew most of them. She said, you have impatience. I said, yes, I have impatience that I was working on. You're a bit intolerant. Yeah, I'm working on that, and so on. You're concluding negatively. I said, yes, I'm working on that. But then she said, you have pride. So then I was very much surprised. And I said, pride? No, I don't have pride. She said, yes, you have pride. I said, no, I'm very humble. A humble person. She said, I think you have pride and you should work on it. So I was very confused and I didn't accept it also. I was thinking, what is this? I know myself and it's not there. And I didn't work on it at all. For a long time, for many years, I never touched it. So what happened by divine grace, for the next 2 weeks, I just saw pride in everything, like 20 times a day. Pride was just coming out in all situations. And then I realized in what kind of illusion I was in all those years. And because I was in that illusion, I didn't work on it. And because I didn't work on it, it didn't reduce. It kept showing itself again and again. Others would notice, but I could not notice it. Later I checked and others confirmed, yeah, you have pride, and it's quite visible. Yeah? So this is the importance of PDR also. That one part of PDR is getting help from others and studying our mistakes and getting more awareness. So then when that awareness increased, when I was writing mistakes of PDR, then the desire, mistakes of pride, then the desire to change became stronger. I felt like this pride has to reduce. So I hope this helps about the importance of PDR. It is very important. As per that path of Guru's grace, which is a path that encompasses different paths in itself, it has 8 steps. It leads to fast progress. PDR carries 30% importance. So it's very important. It's almost 1/3. We can do different other efforts, but if we don't work on our defects, then our efforts can get lost. The energy collected through practice can get lost through our incorrect actions and thoughts and emotions. Dipali asked another question. How to take care of parents from a spiritual viewpoint when one is out of the country? Is it mandatory to stay physically close to parents to take care of them? So it's nice that you have this desire to take care of parents and you're thinking about it. So here, of course, everyone has a different situation and it depends on the age of parents. So if the parents are older in age, like 70 years old and above, they will need more help, of course. And as children, it is our duty to help. But depending on the situation, like if you are out of the country, then it is limited what you can do. So you can think about in what way you can help being at a distance. So at practical level, you can think about different solutions to get some help for them, to be in touch with them, like that. If you can organize someone to help them, to follow up, check how they are, and so on. But you asked at a spiritual level how it is basically when we do that, we can think of it that it is our service. I'm doing it as my service to them, my service to God by helping parents. But on the other hand, to continue doing our spiritual practice. So Artama asked, Namaskar Artama, how long can I do black covering removal by the tower mudra or nyas? So the black covering, for those who hear it first time, is a covering of black energy which can develop around us, around the body, around the head, around the eyes, different parts. And it causes different difficulties, like can cause depression, lethargy, negative thinking, different problems like that, many thoughts. So we have a remedy that can be used to remove the black covering, and it's called the tower mudra, which is one special mudra that looks like a house. It is in this shape, and you move it around your body like this at a normal or slower pace while chanting, and that helps to remove the black covering. So Artama, you can do this maybe 8, 9, 10 times in one setting, and then after 15-20 minutes in your chanting session, you can do it again. So during the day, you can do it a few times. Whenever you feel like you need it, whenever you feel some pressure or heaviness, something unpleasant around you, then you can do the tower mudra. And yes, you can hold as much as you can hold your hand. Because sometimes we get tired holding the nyas on the different chakras. So in your chanting session, sometimes you can hold a few minutes. And then if you get tired, you can put your hands down. And later you can do it again. That's a good practical question. Aditya Hrudaya Stotra, you asked what it is good for. I will have to check that because I remember, but not like exactly. So I don't want to give some incorrect information. So we can reply later. You can ask in the live chat, and our seekers will check and let you know. Okay, Dipali, it is nice to see your gratitude. So, are there any other questions remaining, or shall we end the session for today? There were many nice questions today. Curiosity, practical questions. It was very nice. Very nice to see everyone's desire to learn. There is a quote that says, only the curious one is deserving of knowledge. So if we have the curiosity, then we get the knowledge. I wonder. Nice to see you again. So you asked, I feel my faith has reduced due to an accident. And by God's grace, I received a lot of help. I spent a lot of time learning about astrology afterwards. Here, what is not clear is how your faith reduced due to an accident. If you can clarify that, just to be able to understand. Because you said that you received a lot of help. So usually when we receive help, our faith increases. So I'm not sure how it happened that your faith reduced. Meaning, what has reduced your faith in that? Is it that you have some doubts that accident should not have happened? Like, or why God didn't protect me, or something like that? Your mother said she feels that it is due to some problem in the birth chart, as per astrology, and your chanting time has reduced due to this. So it is not needed to, because you said you spent a lot of time studying your astrology chart, it is not needed to do that, and it will not help. It will not bring any solution. The solution actually is spiritual practice like chanting. If we have some difficulties in life, it is, in great majority of cases, especially with accidents, it is due to destiny, or what people popularly call karma. So if it's something in the destiny, we have to do spiritual practice, because only spiritual practice can nullify or reduce destiny. And another thing is to understand that we don't really know what is in our destiny, why something happened, and what could have happened. So for example, sometimes we may have an accident, but due to our spiritual practice, the intensity of that accident has reduced. It may have been more serious. We don't know that. So, because we are not aware of it, we may think why this happened and it should not happen. But we don't know that maybe it reduced. And also, the help that we received is something very precious. So we should be grateful for it. Because sometimes we may not get help. So in this way, if we look, we can keep a more positive mindset. And we can maintain our faith. So, in my case, some years ago, I had a surgery for my back. And at that time, there was a lot of pain. and I was not able to walk also. But what happened is that everything happened in a smooth way, and I got a lot of support from spiritual seekers, from family members, from the doctors, and that problem got resolved later. So I was feeling very grateful. And I also had a lot of experiences, even in the hospital. In the hospital, I felt God is with me all the time. I felt protection. I didn't feel any negativity, even though it was a hospital. I was having spiritual emotion. I was happy, actually, to the point that the nurses would come and ask me, "What are you doing? Others are complaining to us. You never complain. You're happy." And I just told them it's because of divine grace and because of spiritual practice. So that incident actually increased my faith, because I saw that ultimately I was taken care of, in all ways. And I learned a lot from those situations. I had many learnings during that period of 5-6 months of having those problems. So it helped with my spiritual growth and spiritual progress. I hope this helps. So we have a few more minutes. But if you have many more questions, I wonder about this, you can share. If you give some clarity on what exactly reduced faith. So if there are any more questions, please feel free to share. Or how is everyone feeling now? You can also share in this Q&A session. I'm feeling very grateful to see all of your questions. A lot to learn from it, and it gives me a chance to do my little part of service. Okay, dear seekers, so if there are no more questions, then we can end the session for today. So I will just, before ending, I will just share some points that every day during the week at, I think, 5:30 p.m. Europe time, 10 p.m. India time, we have chanting meditation sessions with Sadhguru Siriak Vale. You can come and participate, and it can help you a lot in getting healing and improving the quality of your chanting. It is easier than chanting alone. Then also we will have another Q&A session next week at the same time. And we will also have one special fundraiser live stream, One World, One Family, on 16 December. We will share some very nice, interesting things. Different spiritual seekers will share different points. So we warmly welcome you to join us. And also, you can keep updated about our events on our website. We also have spiritual meetings every week in 8 or 9 languages. So you can register through our event website. It says welcome meeting, I think, or spiritual meeting. And also we have one-on-one online meetings where you can speak to our seekers one-on-one if there is something you would like to share, something more personal, more private, to get personalized guidance. Then I think on every article there is an image where you can press, it says to meet us online or to meet us one-on-one. Okay, one more question. Okay. Before that, everyone is feeling good and grateful, inspired, happy and grateful to hear that. Okay, we'll take this last question then. From Anil. Can spirituality be practiced and felt with the mind and not with the heart? Then second question, being motivated with Osho's discourses. His teachings seem a form of spirituality. Is that true? We cannot comment on the teachings of other paths, but I can answer about this first question. Can spirituality be practiced and felt with the mind and not with the heart? Just in terms of the methodology, when we say the mind, it is the part that is actually connected to the heart. It is the part that has emotions, feelings. And there is the other part that has the intellect, which is the rational part, which makes decisions, understands things. So yes, spirituality can be practiced in both ways. So with our mind, we can focus on chanting and prayers, any efforts to develop spiritual emotion. And with our intellect, we can practice to study, learn, self-analyze, different things like that, which will help us in the process of changing ourselves. We can use our intellect also to do spiritual service or to take proper decisions that will lead to spiritual benefit. Decision taken in a spiritually proper way. So both have the importance, the intellect and the mind, but the goal of spirituality actually is to dissolve the intellect and dissolve the mind. That they become, in a way, empty, and then they become divine. And then instead of basing things of our own understanding on our own intellect, we get thoughts from the divine intellect. And instead of feeling our own impressions, emotions, thoughts, which some can be positive, some can be negative, we get divine qualities and divine emotions like spiritual love for others, unconditional love, devotion, different things like that. So I hope this answers your question. Okay. So dear seekers, I'm very grateful to have had this chance to speak with all of you today. I'm looking forward to speaking with you next week as well. And on behalf of SSRF, I wish you many internal changes, growth, fulfillment, and positivity in your spiritual practice and your whole life. Namaskar and gratitude.